So hello everybody. Welcome to the eighth episode of El Podcasting. Actually a week late because of technical difficulties last week meant that we lost the former eighth podcast. But we are lucky this week to have on three student team members. I think we've heard from Simone before, but two new student team members. Jade and Olivia, because this week we're going to be talking about medicine, health, and biology, the faculty of biology, medicine, and health. Just talking a little bit about the stresses that those students face, what it's like, why they studied their subject, what they want to do, how they found their time at the Uni of Manchester so far. So Jade or Olivia, do either one of you want to introduce yourself and what you study?
Yeah, I can start. I'm Olivia. I'm a third year PhD psychology student. So my PhD is looking at schizophrenia and in particular auditory verbal hallucinations. So basically why people with schizophrenia hear voices. So it's quite an interesting area. There's still a lot that we don't know about schizophrenia. And I guess the reason why I'm interested in it is because my mom actually has schizophrenia herself. So growing up, she had like relapses. And she'd act like really strangely, and it always just interested me like what was going on in her brain, because I had no idea like what was causing her to like act in a really like strange way. She'd think that there's like people trying to poison her, or like the neighbors are conspiring against her, and yeah, I guess it just fascinated me because it's like you can't see what goes on inside someone's head. So that's kind of like my motivation for like trying to find out more about like what they call that positive symptoms, not because they're positive, because obviously not a good thing to have, but just because there's something that you're not meant to have. So the same with like delusions, like weird beliefs.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, that's my motivation for just like delving a bit deeper into the topic.
Well, I mean, like that is straight away some great insight into how important and interesting all of that is. What about you, Jade?
Hi, I'm Jade. I do medicine, but this year I'm doing a master's in public health. Would you like me to tell you why, or I don't know where to start?
Yeah.
It's like being back in the interview room. I think I wanted to do medicine because I used to really enjoy biology and learning about like the body and how it works and all the science behind it. And then I had a few family members be ill, like friends get ill, and I'd always find it interesting as much as it's sad. I would always be interested in however things had happened, if somebody had cancer or something like that, or mental health issues. So then I think I kind of looked down the topic of how healthcare professions, what kind of professions there are out there. And that's what drew me into medicine, really. And just helping people and learning more and more about the body.
Yeah, that's sick. And Simone as well. We got a regular.
Everyone knows me now.
Yeah.
I'm Simone, if you don't know me already. I am a final year cognitive neuroscience and psychology student. And I really got into this because I had a really great biology teacher who kind of really encouraged me to try out new things. And so when I was in high school in the US, I did a pre-college program where I went to an actual university and I learned about neuroscience, and I really loved it. And so I decided that's what I wanted to do. But I was also really interested in the behavioral aspects of it, the more psychological elements. So I found this course, and I believe this is the only course in the country undergraduate level that does this. So I knew I had to come here, and I'm really happy I did.
Wow, okay, yeah. I mean, I think I'm already inspired just by the courses that you can do, what's possible in that kind of world. I hadn't even considered all of the things that you're speaking about. One thing I want to start just talking about is because a lot of the time, if I'm speaking to a medicine student or a science student, they'll talk about the competitive nature, how hard and tough it is, how much hard work it is. How did you guys find in like your first few years at the Uni of Manchester that you coped with doing a science or medicine degree? Was it harder than you thought it was going to be?
I mean, I'd say because I did my master, I did my psychology degree at York, and then I did a master's in neuroimaging here. And I found like I wasn't expecting there to be so much work during the masters, which I know sounds a bit like,
Yeah.
As you're doing a masters, of course, it's gonna be like an increased intensity. Well, I think it took me by surprise, just like how much more intense it was than like undergraduate level. Because you're just like juggling multiple deadlines, and then it's like you don't get any break. Even over Christmas and Easter, you're like constantly just trying to like complete a deadline or complete some sort of coursework or assignment. So it was like, yeah, it's pretty intense. But then when you get to PhD level, it's intense, but it's intense in a different way because it's not structured. So you don't have seminars or lectures like you do at masters and undergraduate level. It's all just like you just work on your own project, just you. And then it's kind of like, it's like the complete opposite because then you have to like organize your time and be like really motivated. So, and it's like, it's not like you can ask for help because like no one else is doing your specific project. So you kind of just have to, yeah, just try and motivate yourself along. And it is tricky sometimes, especially the further down the PhD you go, the harder it is to motivate yourself. So yeah.
I think the competitiveness for me really differs between the kind of schools that I'm in. So because I do neuroscience and psychology, I'm divided between the School of Biological Sciences and the School of Health Sciences. And I've really noticed a difference in the way that they teach, the way that students kind of act with each other. And it is a bit more competitive on the neuroscience side, but it's nothing that, you know, it's not difficult to handle. It's healthy competition and people are really happy to help if you ask. Like, for example, this morning, actually, we had a group call where we did our online tests together and we helped each other out. And, you know, it's about finding the right people and finding the right energy around you, I think. And that's what matters most, I think, than the overall kind of what you think the course is.
I was always very like overwhelmed with how much pressure there was going to be because everyone always warns you of how hard it's going to be to study medicine. What I really found when I came to Manchester is that actually once you're in, Manchester are very supportive and they want you to keep at it and work through and work hard. And it suddenly becomes like, yes, it's hard, but it's a supportive system. And if you're finding things difficult or too much, it's not a case of like, oh, it's too much for you, then you should leave. It's how can we help you get around that? And that's what I found really nice because I was expecting it to be, oh, if it's too hard, then you should leave. But it really wasn't that, which is nice.
Yeah. That is great. So I guess it worked well for you and Olivia just because you ended up doing postgrads.
Yeah. This is a different type of stress for me this year. I find with medicine, the stress is that you're juggling lots of things at once. I don't find the context ridiculously difficult. It's just the amount of things that you're trying to learn.
Yeah.
And it often feels very endless because you can constantly be learning something new. But this year it feels very different because you have physical hand-in deadlines and you get graded a bit more than you do in the medicine world. Medicine tends to be like pass or distinction. Whereas there's quite a few different percentages you might get on your essays and things. So yeah, it's different for me now.
Yeah. What made you choose to go from medicine to public health?
Good question. I think public health can be very broad. There's so many different areas to public health. And I quite like that this year it's given me the opportunity to learn about the background of how things work in terms of policies being made. So rather than just helping people on the front line, say as a doctor in the future, it's just as important to be able to learn about why those rules are in place or why that medication is the thing that's recommended to you. So that's what public health is about. It's about rather than helping the individual person, helping the people as a whole.
Yeah.
which is really, it's a big deal, I think.
Yeah, I guess that's a theme in all of your courses. Like, you understand like the body or humans to help them. Is that like a big motivation behind it?
For me, it's not necessarily about the body, but I am more interested in kind of behavior and more kind of the applied aspects of it.
Yeah.
So, for example, like I'm really interested in organizational psychology and how decision making happens. And there's this really interesting field called neuroeconomics that bridges these kind of physical neural kind of systems with applied decision making, problem solving aspects that people experience in day-to-day life. And I am interested in the body to a certain extent, where I'm interested in how people have mental processes that, help them to make decisions and apply it to real life problems.
Yeah. Is doing a master's something that you thought about?
Yeah, actually, I have accepted an offer for a master's for next year. Yay.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
going to be,
Okay.
I'm going to do it in social data science. So it's like the social science elements and using data to kind of work through social science problems. I know it sounds super techy, but it's really not. It's just more about the kind of social science of the internet and how data is used and how people kind of just apply it to do what they want really in modern life.
Yeah. Wow.
I had a feeling you were going to do sort of masters and something like that when you said you chosen R as your like research topic. I was like a programming language, so that makes sense.
Wow. So what about you, Olivia? In your final year of a PhD, which must be like crazy to feel, like, what's your journey been like over the however many years you must have been studying, and how does it feel to like be at the end of that?
God, I feel old actually. I've done my degree and
Same.
I initially did a year of neuroscience, and then I realised I wasn't really a scientist. And then I dropped out, took a year out, and then did the psychology degree, and also done a master's and PhD. It's been an interesting journey. I feel like it's just spent the whole decade of my 20s is like on education, and it's also been quite helpful with my career, having a degree, having a master's, and obviously if I want to go into academia, which I don't, have a PhD. I can't decide it. It's because I know like academia is very intense, very competitive. I have to apply for like research funding, like research grants and all that. And it's kind of like, and I remember working as like a voluntary research assistant in Barcelona with a psychiatry professor. And he said there's like a common saying in research, which is like publish or perish. So basically, it's because you basically have to publish papers to kind of build your reputation. And that's how you get funding and get money to do more research.
Yeah.
So it's very, it's quite
a lot
tough.
of pressure on you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of pressure to be like a lecturer, academic, professor, all those sort of things. So I can't so my goal is really just to finish a PhD, try and make some contribution, try and find something original in schizophrenia, and then just get out of academia. It's like do something relatively stress-free. I don't know what yet. I quite like writing, so maybe something related to like writing, or I don't know. I've got time to think. But,
You go and do a history PhD.
No, I'm not that. I don't think history is my forte.
No.
I don't like writing that much. I can avoid all the essays.
If I could just add to that a little bit, with the academia thing, I grew up with, my mom is actually a lecturer, and so I kind of grew up with all these PhDs and academic talk around, and I do see that kind of side in my degree as well, because there's so many people that want to go into academia that it's kind of expected, I think, and the faculty doesn't really talk about any other options other than that. So they only really focus on research and lab work. And I think that way it can be kind of isolating from like the real possibilities of applying your degree. and it can be a little hard to branch out. And I think that may be a caveat of one of these degrees, but it is really interesting at the end, and it matters where you take it, I think, more than anything.
Yeah, I think it's because like Manchester's quite a big research university internationally. It's got a big, so it's got a very good reputation for research. So I think that's probably why they push it a bit more, because they want to churn out more like world leading academics.
keep the university running.
Yeah, exactly. Keep the money coming in.
Okay. So finally, I know we all need to be places at 3:30. What advice, if you had any advice to give to like a first or like an early years biology, medicine, or health student, what would you like inform them of based on your time at uni?
Ooh, so many
Good
things.
question.
I think.
I mean, you can list them as well if you want.
Yeah, I'll send you a list later. I think it's really important to kind of get the groundwork done and focus on the main objectives, whatever that may be at the time, but also just to kind of enjoy it and do other things that you enjoy as well, because every year, as sad as this sounds, it gets harder. So you have to enjoy your first year, because the next year you then think, oh, I wish I'd enjoyed my free time a bit more. And then the next year you think that again. So I think enjoy your studies, but also enjoy your time out of your studies, because it shouldn't completely take over everything.
Yeah, I agree. Because for my degree, the first year didn't count, so you just have to pass it basically. So I think just make the most of the first year. I hear I might just maybe different, but still just like enjoy it. Try and take the opportunity to get involved in a lot of different things that interest you. Because like you're not gonna have an experience like university again, probably, and it's kind of that time of your life where you kind of need to discover who you are and what your interests are and what you want to do for like your career. And the only way you can really find that out is by just trying a lot of different things, getting involved in like societies, like finding internships and jobs, and just like just making most of what uni offers you, because it's quite a unique experience.
I would say that university experience is about the people you surround yourself with. So find people that match your energy, find people that think about your work and social life the way that you do. And this is a process of trial and error. So, you're bound to make mistakes. But I think once you have that kind of support network that really understands you and your motivation, it gets a lot easier to kind of get on with uni and do well. And just find people that support you and match your goals.
Yeah, that's great advice for sure. I feel like your time at uni is the only, not the only time, but the best time for you to like be like as ambitious as possible in terms of like how you're using your time, getting involved with things, just getting as much experience as possible, and not kind of like putting yourself in a cage of, oh, like I need to just work on this and just restrict myself to doing this amount of work because I need to do this, and just getting caught up in that cycle. But yeah, that's a great point. Well, yeah, thank you anyway, all three of you. That was really interesting for me to hear about the parts of medicine, biology, and health that I had no idea about. Kind of, just great to listen to. And thank you all for coming along.
Thank you for the invite.
It's been great. Thank you.